Today I'm going to be painting Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock by Zez Studios, kind of giving you a step-by-step of how I paint it. Could be different for pretty much everyone, different colors. I usually use Vallejo paints. I have some Pro Acryl paints, but they're all acrylic-based paints. Army Painter or any of the other model painting colors would work just fine. That's just what I use. I'm by no means a professional, and there are people that are significantly better than me, but I like to do it. I have a lot of fun, so enjoy.
First, I'd like to start out with a zenithal highlight. So essentially I just prime the whole model black and then do a white spray of ink from the top. That will show you where all the highlights are, and will be a good undercoat for your paint job. So here I'm just spraying a silver on all of the Doc Ock arms, just a dark gunmetal silver. I like to start with the base first, that way as you work through the model you have something to set your finished pieces on, so you just don't have to stack them all around your desk. After the gunmetal spray, I am doing the red glow. This is a technique that I'm still trying to be better at. We're still trying to learn, so it's not perfect. Essentially, I am just spraying a bright red around the middle after spraying it with a white. And then after I spray the red, I'm going back in with that white again just to make it a little bit brighter. And you can see I changed the lighting a little bit so it looks a bit better on camera. After I spray the white, I'm just going back through with the paintbrush, just touching it up with that same silver that I airbrushed on, just to clean up the edges a little bit and make it look a little bit neater. After I clean up all of the tentacles, I am doing a dry brush with a much lighter silver, just to give it a little bit more highlights and just give it a little bit of depth of color. I'm doing this on all of the tentacles all over it. Not worrying so much about the light facing parts, just doing everything. I got all the tentacles done, so now I'm working on the main part of the base itself. Again, I'm just going back through with that silver and spraying all of the tentacle parts that are on the base itself. After that, I'm trying to do the explosion effect, so I'm just laying down a red coat along all of the smoke, trying to be careful of the tentacles but not being too careful. This can be covered up with a paintbrush, or it might even be covered up by the actual tentacles themselves that get attached on later. So after the red, I'm doing an orange. I'm laying these layers on just a little bit smaller than the red layers, but inside the deeper areas to get that fire effect. Red will be the coolest part, and almost pure white will be the hottest part of the fire. So as I get that covered up, I add a little bit of yellow, do it even smaller than the orange, and then I go into white and I spray that in the yellow. And whenever that's complete, I'm going to bring back in the smoke effect, so I'm just doing a light gray and gradually working my way up to white on the highest points of that. After I get done with the base, I am going to start on Spider-Man himself. So I'm just laying down a red base coat lightly, just to not cover up that undercoat on everything that's red. After I spray everything that's red, I'm just going underneath, so spraying from a downward position in all of the shadow areas a darker red, just to make those shadows and highlights a little bit more pronounced. You can see there I might have added shadows in a place that's going to be blue later, but that's alright. I just used my paintbrush to paint on the black spider on the front of the suit. And then I just hand painted the blue. I was going to mask, but it's kind of a pain in the butt, so I just do a border of the suit and make it a little bit easier. This does take a couple coats of thin paint to make it opaque enough to where it reads as blue and not a reddish blue. I did paint the pants blue, and I am just spraying in some shadows in the blue of the pants and the blue of the torso. And then I'm just going through with a brush and painting the spider on the back red. After that's completed, I'm working on the face mask, so just doing a black liner of the eyelids. And then I'm not using a pure white here. It's a color called Dectan. Pure white makes it read a little bit off, but also the paints there are a few paints that are known to be a little bit harder to paint with a brush, and white is one of them. It's just the pigmentation in the paint itself. And after that is complete, I assemble it. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this. There are a few things that I noticed that I could have done a little bit better, but I think it'll look really good on the shelf.
I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and I post weekly teasers of things that I'm working on throughout the week. Usually on Mondays, I will post the first teaser of what I'm working on, and then one more throughout the week, and then my full release video will come out on Friday. Find that on my YouTube Shorts, my Facebook page, my Instagram, anything like that. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.